Welcome to the Lightforge tier list unveiling of the tier list scores for Hunter. We're doing it. It's 1 a.m. almost, and we're getting there. This is the second to last class, and we're just saving the good ones for last, man. We're just saving the good, the interesting Ungoro classes for last, because when Ungoro hits, you know what you're gonna want to play? Well, I'm gonna play Druid, but what you're gonna want to play is Hunter, and what you're going to want to play is Rogue, and we're going to talk about these classes right now, and they will blow your mind what Blizzard did to them.
What is Hunter right now, right? Like, Hunter historically and right now, like, I think Hunter surprised quite a few people by sort of showing how good it is in the not only the MSG meta, but the 7.1 meta.
Ooh, 7.1.
Right. The 7.1 meta, I think, surprised it. It definitely surprised me. I think it surprised you as well by how good it became. For me, I think by the end of the 7.1 meta, it was like my preferred class to play in terms of winning and also having fun. But like, you know, if I want to win, I'm like, no, I'm playing Hunter. The ability to go faster than 7.1 decks, which were really slow. Like 7.1 decks are really slow. They don't curve out. The ability to actually go a little bit faster and to just win based upon that is ridiculous.
Here's the thing in a threat and response meta. When you're aggro, every card you play is a threat. They can't respond to all of it.
So, an interesting like realization I had, and it's actually kind of sad. So I was talking with like Shady Bunny, and we were basically saying, I was like, by the way, I know like a couple weeks ago, I basically said, you know, Rogue was #1. I'm like, no, I think Hunter's #1 for me. He's like, I think Hunter's #1 for me as well. And the conclusion, like the one sentence conclusion that we had was basically, Hunters don't need cards to win.
Yes.
Rogues still need cards to win, because Rogues, you need your cards to match up against your opponent's card.
You don't need two drops, which solves a lot of the problems, but you still need other cards.
You still need cards to win. Like, Rogue's cards have to 100% get you there, because your hero power isn't getting you there. Hunters only need their cards to get about like 70% of the way there, and then their hero power takes like you know, takes them to the end of the game, which is so powerful.
Well, that 70% just got a whole lot easier in Ungoro.
Right, so much easier. And if we think that classes are going to have a tough time curving out, you know, Hunters could potentially just run away with. Now, look, there's going to be a lot of taunts, right?
A lot of taunts.
There's going to be a lot of taunts. So I'm not saying their path is easy, because Blizzard has introduced a lot of stuff to block them. At the same time, they've given Hunters a lot of tools to power through. So let's see what we got. You want to introduce the first card?
First card, best card. So here's the thing with Hunter. They're getting, like, a lot of good cards. I'll say this right now. The first 3 cards we're going to do are all basically 150. And we know how good 150 is. 150 is like snail levels of good. New level of good. New measurement of good. Snail levels of good. 150 is basically snail levels of good in any other class. 150 is, like, when we get a 150 card, we kind of go like, oh my god, look, it's 150. Like, the Tutorial Forager is a 161, and we're like, oh my god, this is an insane card, right? The Paladin's got higher cards, but that's Paladin. So for Hunter, 150 is pretty insane. Now, I will say this, because the Gastropod is a beast, it's actually 165 or 169? 169 in Hunter. So the Gastropod is still the card to pick, and there's a good reason for it, right? It breaks through big things, especially big taunts. But the first card we're going to review for Hunter is literally the 4th best card in Hunter, including the Gastropod, the 3rd best class card, below only High Main, Explosive Shot, and Eaglehorn Bow, and it is the Crackling Razor Maw. 2 mana, 3/2 beast, like a raptor, Battlecry, adapt a friendly beast. Seems pretty innocent until you actually adapt the Alley Cat.
This thing is insane. Look, if you just play this and it doesn't adapt, you just play Bloodfin Raptor, right? And that's fine. Like, it's offensively statted. Right, Bloodfin Raptor for Hunters is really good. Offensively statted. It's a beast, so you can, you know, follow it up with beast synergies. But when you adapt, and here's the thing, like, when you adapt, remember, it's about 3 stats worth, right? So this thing should be a little bit understated, like understated by 1 to say, okay, when you hit it, you get 3 stats, but this thing is going to suffer 1 stat because of it. But no, this doesn't suffer at all. So this is a cheap, offensively statted beast that is pure upside.
Pure upside.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
And you know what
it is
one drops.
Yeah, exactly. It is a pure snowball card with no downside for if you don't start the snowball.
Yep. So when your opponent hunter goes first and on the hunt's your face, that's not being Dennis. You're about to lose the game.
Yeah. That. Yeah. Like if they on the hunt your face and you don't have and you're, I don't know, like a warrior. First of all, I don't know why you're a warrior, but if you're a warrior and you don't have any way to ping that off, yeah, you're looking at a bad time.
There's Fiery Bat, there's Alley Cat, and in case that's not enough 1-drop extra beast for you,
the Dragonhawk.
No, the next card on our list.
Oh, I was thinking of the Dragonhawk, man. But yes, we can also talk about the next card. So Crackling Razor Maw was a 154. The next card, which is a 150, a clean 150, the Jeweled Macaw, which is a 1-mana, 1/1 beast. Battle Cry, add a random beast to your hand.
Because you know how bad Web Spinner was, right? It was like pretty much unplayable, so they needed to print a better version of it now that it's no longer in the meta. Like, fine, upgrade the Web Spinner. Now you get a beast immediately rather than having to have it die. And put it in the meta where you really need your, like, turn 1 to be a beast.
Right.
Because you're going to adapt it next.
Yeah, you need your turn 1 to be a beast. Also, the Death Rattle helped in Constructed, right? So when they had Undertaker Hunter, right? You needed Web Spinner to be actually a Death Rattle. But in the arena, the Death Rattle was
just bad compared to Battle Cry.
Yeah. You wanted the beast immediately. You want to see what it was, right? You don't really have Death Rattle synergy as Hunter. Please don't.
And you know what the random beast is usually going to be?
What?
A Crackling Razor Maw.
True. Oh my gosh, you're right, because of the offering. Yeah.
I mean, this is just like, they're just doing things, man. They're building the Crackling Razor Maw, like, deck. So they don't just make something that's, like, really good and overpowered. It's not really overpowered, but it's, like, very powerful. They look at it and they go, okay, now let's also put in a supporting card, just to, like, make it even better. Right.
But it is funny, the beast that you're most likely to get out of the Jeweled Macaw is a Crackling Razor Maw. And I'm not saying your favorite to get it. Not at all.
Yeah. But like if random had a most likely number, it's like Crackling Razor Maw.
Right. So yeah. Yay! Anyways, do you want to take the next card because it's about your favorite thing in the world, positioning?
Yes. Grievous Bite is the next card. I remember, right?
Huh? Grievous.
Oh, Grievous. Yeah.
Where's the extra I coming from?
My head. Grievous Bite is a 2-mana card, and it deals 2 damage to a minion and 1 damage to adjacent ones. So it is like a mini explosive shot. And we get a lot of these, right? There's a lot of ways to deal 2 damage in this meta. Hunter's getting this card. Mage has its own 2 damage card that gives itself an elemental. I'm missing something, but there are other ways to deal 2 damage in this meta, and I'm sure we covered it somewhere else. But it's just good to give Hunter a removal. And this is like a mini board clear removal, too, to kind of replace Power Shot's loss. And it's going to be very good. Is it as good as Power Shot? Depends. It is 1 mana less. You do deal 2 less damage potentially, but you're probably only going to need 1 of them. So I think it's a pretty fair replacement for Power Shot.
Yeah, and the score seems like, I mean, it's high. I mean, this is quite a good card, but at the same time, you have to think about sort of what the Hunter is capable of doing, right? And what they really want. And this is a card that like they really like for the same reason that Power Shot was like super duper premium. Yep. This is a very good card. Okay. So, what is after this?
I don't know. It kind of falls off after this because these were so good. Like, nothing else is going to compare. Like, those are the cards that Hunters are going to run on.
Right. So after this, we actually have Terror Scale Stalker. This was, I think, Hafu's reveal card, right?
Oh,
Yeah, this is Hafu's reveal card. So we jumped down significantly. So this Terror Scale Stalker is 100. So it's like around average-ish, right? If not a little bit below average. It is a 3-mana, 3/3 minion with Battle Cry, trigger a friendly minion's death rattle. So I guess this is where you want the web spinner instead of the Jeweled Macaw.
But it doesn't really matter. It's a 3-mana 3/3.
Yeah.
You get some death rattle synergy. It's not great. You'll pick it sometimes. You're a hunter. You don't need 3s.
Right, and you don't have death rattle stuff.
Yeah.
So 3-mana 3/3 is fine, but you are sort of giving up one stat. That's really the problem with it. And sometimes you really do need this to be a 4/3 or a
Also,
3/4.
I think you have death rattle stuff. You have Savannah Highmane. You have Shaky Zipliner. You have your Infested Wolf. You have more class cards with death rattle than most classes.
Right? No. That's fine. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like
you have a Kindly Grandmother that you can play on curve. Okay. Like, there's actually a ton of death rattle stuff for Hunter.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think you're underselling this card when you say there's not a lot of death
rattles. No.
rattles.
I mean, if you play this like after your Savannah Highmane or after then it's
but like Hunter has the most death rattle minions of any class.
Yep.
Okay, so the next card is 94. We're in bad territory now. It's a Tovier Warden. I was actually surprised this card was even that high. It's a 5-mana 3/5, and you draw 2 1-cost minions from your deck. So one, you have to have 1-cost minions in your deck, which you should have in Hunter, especially the way Hunter's going to work in Ungoro, which is like go really fast. So you draw them, which means your top decks are going to be better, and you have more tempo, because 1-mana minions always give you more tempo generally, right? Like, you pay 1 mana, and you also use up the cards, so you basically get like 1.5 to 2 mana's worth of like stuff on the board for your 1-mana minion.
Right. So it's a 94, below average.
Yep. So you anti-tempo on this turn, but the next turn you'll make up for your tempo.
Yeah. Somewhat draftable, but it's not going to be your preferred choice. And then afterwards, we have Raptor Hatchling coming in at an 89.
1-mana 2/1, Death Rattle, shuffle a 4/3 Raptor in your deck. The Death Rattle doesn't matter that much. You don't really want to draw a 4/3 Raptor, like, anyway.
So, for those of you who don't know, the 4/3 Raptor is a 1-mana 4/3 Raptor. Like, it is good. It is very good. But at the same time, like,
you still drew like a pretty small card. Like,
right.
Depending on when you draw it, right? Like, if you play this on turn 1 and you draw that card on turn 5, yeah, that's good. If you play this on like turn 6 and then you draw it on like turn 12, it's not a great top deck.
That's really the problem with it. It's like, yes, you shuffle a good card into your deck, but is it like super good? No, it's not like a game-winning card. And most of the time, you're still just playing a 1-mana 2/1, right? Yeah, and it's a beast, which is nice, but it's not a super preferred card. You'll still draft it, especially if you get the Crackling Razor Mauls and you just want to go aggressive. It's still fine, but 89, sort of, what's bringing it down is its small size, right?
It's a 1-mana 2/1. That's what it is.
It's a 1-mana 2/1, unfortunately.
All right, let's do epics. Epics! Do hunters have good epic cards? No, they don't. Their best epic card is super interesting, but not very good. It's Dinomancy, at 85. 2 mana. Your hero power becomes give a beast +2/+2.
I am never giving up Steady Shot.
Right? Like, you build your whole entire deck off Steady Shot.
I'm never giving up Steady Shot. Are you kidding me?
You change the Dinomancy and you no longer can deal 2 damage to your opponent's face. How are you building your deck? Like it's one thing if this is a card that says, this card starts in your hand. Give your hero card. Then that's different, because then whenever you draft the card, you can just change your whole draft to, like, fit this. And
right.
But you don't know when you're going to get it. Like, you're going to have to, like, it's a weird adjustment to make. It's pretty powerful. You buff a beast +2/+2, and there's more than enough beasts to make sure you can almost use it every single turn. But
to be fair, the hero power you get is insane.
Yeah, it's a good hero power.
Like, it's really insane. Because if you just use it twice, you've kind of gotten value out of it, right? Yeah. And if you use it 3 times, it's like really freaking good. But dude, no, Steady Shot.
No.
Yeah.
Disagree. Finally, Stampede is a 73. You want to take this?
Sure. Stampede, 1 mana, epic spell. Each time you play a beast this turn, add a random beast to your hand. Uh, Look, it's lock and load for minions, right? Lock and load for beasts. Um, it's cheap, and it's certainly fine, and you can get like uh, you know, the beast. But a lot of times, if you're a fast deck, the problem is like random beasts are not good.
And you have to
Like,
play 2 beasts on the same freaking turn
yeah,
to not make this a 1-mana cycle in the late game.
right.
And it's not even a cycle. It gives you a random beast, right? Which, like you said, is not good.
Right, and you can play it on the same turn as well, which is fine. But then we're thinking about like a turn 8 potential play into, and
just,
really
yeah.
like don't mess with that.
It's not even summon. You have to play the beast.
You have to put right. So, and with this card in the early game, it's just taking up a slot, right? Man, and at least with something like Infest, it plays in the way that you want to. You want to vomit out onto the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can Infest behind it. Here, you have to like play the beast and then keep on playing beast in the same turn. It's just really awkward. Like, look, you can in certain decks, you can certainly you'll be able to do it. And if you look at the deck and you're like on pick 25, you're just seeing like, man, I have all the small raptors, I have all the stuff. Like, maybe it isn't so bad, but typically you can't draft this.
Swamp King Dread, 100. It is a totally balanced and normal random card, even though it's a legendary and it's a big giant dinosaur, and it's trying to compare with King Crush, which is a really good card, because King Crush goes face. Swamp King Dread is a 7-mana 9/9, which seems really good, except after your opponent plays a minion, Swamp King Dread will attack it.
Snail.
So, any poisonous minion, Swamp King Dread is dead. Any normal minion essentially has charge. So you can think of it as Swamp King Dread has taunt on any minion that you play, but you have charge on any minion you play.
Right.
Like, it's not a good trade-off, especially because you can't even use Swamp King Dread as a taunt, because any minions your opponent has on the board can still attack your face.
Right.
To the extent that, so if you play Swamp King Dread, I just play a bunch of stuff with high attack and low defense to kill off the Swamp King Dread the next turn, and all my minions have gone to your face. And the thing with Hunter is you don't think about Hunter this way, but anyone who's a really good Hunter player knows this very well. And like Shady emphasizes this so much. You need to buy turns, because each turn that you buy gives you 2 damage to your opponent's face guaranteed. So anything that's hard to remove on the board, anything that just stalls for a turn, anything that gives you more health even, that's great. That's why Explosive Trap is good. Not just for the 2 face damage, not just for the possibility of hitting something, but because you stall your opponent until they get enough stuff that they can actually attack your face.
Yeah.
Like, that's how Hunters work. Swamp King Dread is the opposite of that.
It speeds things up when you don't want to speed up.
Yeah, it speeds things up for your opponent.
Yes. And I think that's important. So now we've talked about these cards. We're going to talk about how Hunters should play, right? And really,
I don't think there's a lot to talk about.
I don't think there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, you should play in the way that you like. Basically, in the future, you should play how you're playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Aggressive, tempo-oriented. You certainly have the cards for it now, and then use that hero power to take you home, right? Push, and then, like Adam just said, make sure to buy turns as well. At a certain point, you're going to give up the board. You just have to. Like, and they can clear you, and it's going to feel terrible when, if they like taunt up and then heal and then taunt up again, and you lose off of that. But you take that gamble. And you will win a lot more often than you lose by taking that gamble.
And when your minions get removed by their minions, you Grievous Bite them. That's what Grievous Bite is great for. It's great for mop-up, because you don't have a ping. So your opponents leave things at 1 health all the time when they eat your minions. Yeah. And then you use Grievous Bite, and they don't eat any more minions. And you've gotten your damage in. So I know people are like, Grievous Bite, like, I can't go face. It has the same effect as going face in most times. All right, so that's Hunter.
All right.
We have one last class. It is Rogue, and it is what I think will be the best class in the next meta, just like it's the best class in this meta. And we are excited to go into it. But yeah, Hunter is going more into Hunter, right? Druid became more like Druid, being more like centered. Hunter is more Hunter, being more pushy and more like aggressive. And it kind of needed to be because there's a lot of taunts coming in. But we saw from before that a lot of the other classes went the other way. They started getting conflicted in their directions. Rogue is good though. Rogue is going to just go more Rogue. It's so Rogue that we had to leave it to the end because it doesn't have any adapt cards and it doesn't have any elemental cards. It's like doing its own thing.
All right. Saving the best for last. Doing Rogue.
See you next video.